Hey everyone, since my next college class is about to start, roughly a week, I figured I'd make a video about everything that I did in my previous one. Quick heads up though, before that I'm gonna ramble a little bit about some art class or art club art sale stuff that I happened to partake in, and that I'd take like a good 3-4 minutes to ramble about all that, so heads up on that. And so, with my college's art club having an art sale, I decided to try to make something to put it in the sale, share my dinosaur art with more people, and so I did. I made 2 Halloween-y themed dinosaurs, Zool Cruivastador and Spectrovinator Ragi. Zool's named after the Ghostbusters character, and Spectrovinator means ghost hunter. I'm generally fairly pleased with both of them, completely honestly. Although I'm personally more akin to theropods like Spectrovinator here. I just generally like the amount of detail I put into Zool, especially since I'm not very good at ankylosaurs, so I really like this. And Spectrovinator, I feel, came out fairly fine. I just feel like a lot of the scale detail I put into this was really drowned out by the brown main body color. But overall, yeah, these were the pieces I made for the sale. Now, I wasn't originally planning on bringing up these details, but I figured I would anyway, just to point them out, show some minor little flaws in my art, because as good as my stuff is, I'm definitely not perfect. There is a lot of room to grow, and if I wanted to draw them again, figured I'd show where I messed up on these. First off, Zool's tail is a little bit too long, I think. I kind of changed the reference photo a little bit to make the tail curve up, but I think otherwise it's fine. As for Spectrovinator, I really feel like I made the head too big, but I seriously struggled with getting the head in proportion to the rest of the body, so I don't know how I could possibly fix it right now anyway. Okay, so we're very close to the actual date for the art sale, and I've added one more animal to my roster, Iphigia. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce the species name. It was from the Triassic period and was a very distant relative of crocodiles. Not a dinosaur, despite how much it looks like one. I just wanted to make this little update before I color it, simply because I like the amount of detail I was able to put into it, especially in its eye. I have now finished Iphigia, and I really like the way that the design came out. I think the colors and patterning that I ended up going with works fairly well. In terms of design notes, I don't really think there's that much I would change if I were to remake it. If anything, I would like to know if it walked on its entire foot or on its toes, because it was a very distant relative of crocodiles. It's not a dinosaur, and with that being said, it should walk on its entire foot, but most recreations I saw it on its toes, so I kind of went with both, kind of like it's walking, but I'm not really sure which is the correct pose. It's now early December. The October sale went very well, and our art club actually is doing another one. So I had to challenge myself to make more animals. And of course I did. I went with 4 of them. They're all cold weather themed. There's Glacialosaurus, Cryolophosaurus, a woolly rhino, and Nanuqsaurus. Now, as of me filming this, we did just get like 3 or 5 inches of snow. And with this sale being in December, I wanted to go with like cold weather animals, even if like Cryo and Glaciale didn't live in like cold weather. They're from Antarctica. And so because of that, I went with these guys, and the snow kind of adds to the themage of cold weather species. Hope that wasn't too bad. I do yap a lot when it comes to dinosaurs and paleo art. There's just a lot to talk about, but to note, Zool and Spectrovinator did sell. Iphigia, not that I recall, and I'm sure the other 4 smaller guys, or at least some of them did. I wasn't fully informed on that, but both sales went very well. And now on to my materials and the rest of the projects. And now in terms of my materials for this class, I had a bunch of stuff. Some tape, pencil. Well, this particular pencil kit I got during a Cincinnati Art Center class, but I had enough pencils, so I continued to use it. Still do occasionally. Really big block eraser, comically large, you know, scissors, sketchbook. I'll go through this for some sketch ideas. Pens, glue stick, X-Acto knife, cutting pad, tracing paper, poster board, scissors, painting paper, gouache paint, and these paint brushes. Or I guess mixed media paper, Color Aid paper, a 314 set, 4.5 by 6 inch. This is a sketchbook where we did our sketching of ideas. This was the first project. It was just like make lines, really come up with a design, triangles or rectangles. I went with rectangles, come up with a design, generally speaking. And I went with this, more or less. Changed a couple things, as we'll see, but this is more or less what I went with. A sketch for the color wheel project, which was, this is Pyroraptor. I went with some cutout paper, thumbnails for the negative space transparency project. I'm remembering now these cutout pieces are what that project is. Similar situation here, holiday project. I went with International Whale Shark Day. Let's see, this was music or science project. Sorry about the cut. I had to remember what songs were used here, because although I chose science, paleontology specifically, it was also suggested to just go along with the music idea activity. And so this is what it was. Basically, for the music one, you're supposed to come up, like choose a song and then make a design based on the song, but don't have like heavy implications or ties to that specific song. Just kind of like jot down what the song makes you feel, more or less. Some imagery is allowed, but like nothing super duper obvious. And so this one is Rock Lobster by the B-52s, and this one was Fade Into You by Mazzy Star. I went with paleontology. I found it would be easier, but this was still a fun activity. And I, again, mostly stuck with this general design. Changed a little bit. And that's it in terms of the sketches. So, in terms of the actual projects, this is the just general triangle one, or rectangle triangle one. I forgot what the project itself is called, but this is the first one, and like I said, I really stuck with the same general design. There's not really that much different about it. Some things there are. Like, there's less of these lines here than there was in the sketch. And same over here, there's less lines over here. But really, it's more or less the same exact design. The Pyroraptor color wheel that I brought up in my actual Pyroraptor painting video. This is pretty fun. I will say, although gouache paint is reactivatable when you get it wet, I wasn't really able to blend the blue-green with the blue itself. So that's kind of not as even as it could be, but it works well enough. Oh, and also the teeth and mouth are not paint. The teeth were colored pencil and mouth is Sharpie. But even still, I really like the way it turned out, especially the teeth. This project was trace images of plants and come up with a design with Color Aid paper. This is the organic geometric was the specific project. This is the organic drawing, a lot more jagged shapes, more lifelike leaves. And this is the geometric one. Simplify the shapes. I like it, pretty good. These had to be like same color family and complementary colors. Similarly, transparency and negative space. This one works well, I guess. This was really the first project I didn't like that much, especially the negative space. I really couldn't come up with any like big ideas on what to do with a negative space. I had the green background, the green striped background, and I had this box here. This shape here, seen here, kind of looked like a Spinosaur tail, so I went with a Spinosaur tail. But everything else I really didn't know what to do, so I just threw in a guitar fish, what's supposed to be kind of like seaweed and whatever. I really like the transparency one better, especially the yellow and purple one. Symmetry, asymmetry assignment. This one was brought up in the Inktober video. I featured Rhamphorhynchus here during that one. And here it is again, finished. I really like it. It's basically supposed to be a symmetrical design, but it looks asymmetrical, and like from a distance, It's still not necessarily super obvious, but it gets the point across, and it worked pretty well. This actually went through a redesign once, when I had just various shapes down before I realized that these kind of looked like a valley somewhat. And so I decided to turn it into the late Jurassic Germany rock formation with Rhamphorhynchus. I forgot exactly how it's pronounced, but that's that project. Colored paper again. This is the holiday project. This was International Whale Shark Day, and the project itself was, the holiday was not limited. It was supposed to be just any holiday. So I went with Whale Shark Day, which is in August 29th, I believe it is. And this was a mixed media assignment. The shark itself here and the blue around it, paint. Just added a lot of water to get the paint watered down enough for this tail, which I did with colored pencil, so that the words were still readable. Got an image of a whale shark up there, pilotfish and a remora I drew with marker, sandpaper, and some images of whale shark's teeth. Not life-size. Whale shark teeth are only an eighth of an inch long, so these are not life-size. But yeah, this is a project I really like. I've got to say I really like this one. Most of the projects I did I liked. This was a color project. You used this picture of my Hammond Collection Dimetrodon figure as reference on a beach in Michigan around Detroit. It was supposed to be make it black and white, and then choose colors that are of the same value as these grays. So that's why it's so drastically differently colored. And I'd say it came out pretty well. Could have done a little bit better around its belly and like front legs, but I think Dimetrodon here came out decently well. Science or music project. Here's paleontology, and like I said, I did change a couple things. I still kept Sarcosuchus as a main focus, but I moved it out of the center. Sue in the Field Museum, Tyrannosaurus Rex is now at the center. Sarcosuchus, I want to do is all of these photos are ones I've taken. Everything else is from online. So this is from Colorado, Chicago, Indianapolis, and Indianapolis. Oh, and Montana. But I was saying I wanted Sarcosuchus to kind of be half actual fossil, even if this is a cast, half fossil, half drawn over with my own skin and details. And the Montana picture is of a sauropod of some kind, probably a diplodocid, but because I went there, I added excess dirt I had from the trip to add more like a realistic texture. And then everything down here was added on. Originally, were just these 6 images, Concavinator excluded. But I really like the science project. And lastly, is a scrap project. Oh, it's upside down. Scrap project, and I don't like it as much. Honestly, this was the second one really I did not like doing. I didn't know what to do whatsoever, so I just slapped a bunch of colored paper on and some paint from the holiday project, a picture of Selbeck's Spinosaurus Concavinator's cutout on tracing paper, Asteracanthus skeleton, sandpaper since I cut it the wrong way last time, whale shark teeth again, and colored pencil shavings, but oh, and a tuft of my Red Fox plushie's fur. But yeah, that's all of the projects. I've got almost all of them contained in this folder with some severely outdated Spinosaurus on it. This is the Jurassic Park 3 design, so this is like 24 years, 25 years outdated. Most of them, I'm still trying to decide if I want to cut this science project down so it can fit in one of the sleeves, and the scrap project's just too big anyway. But overall, yeah, this was the projects I did for my first college class. I liked it. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, and I like most of what I made, so yeah. Probably gonna do this again when the next class is done. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you like paleo art, because mostly what I do here is paleo art, but besides that, this is my project review, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.